morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. We are back in better than ever, and today we are talking about statistical terminology to start our study of descriptive statistics, probability, and counting technique. So let's get to it, shall we? This is a lot of vocab here. I'm throwing some things at you, so it should be fairly quick and straightforward, just sort of notes from your textbook telling you what statistics is the study of, and one sentence, it's more to it than that. And the statistical method here, the process of statistical inquiry. I think that should be an I, but the book was written in England. Investigation, all right. We're going to examine a problem which may be solved using data and posing the correct question. So we got to look at the data, figure out what it is that we need to ask to answer the questions that we have. We have to collect data. We have to ignore the data. We have to organize the data. We have to summarize and display the data, analyze the data, and make a conclusion in the form of a conjecture, and then we write up a report with our findings. Here are the biggies, boys and girls. Here are the biggies. Categorical variable or categorical data. It describes a particular quality or characteristic. It can be divided into categories, and here we go. Here's where it really comes home. Getting to school. We could take a survey on how do you get to school. Oh, I take the train, the bus, a car, I walk, whatever. Those are our categories. What are the color of your eyes? Color of eyes. Blue, brown, hazel, green, gray. So that's categorical. Anything that can be put into a category. Quantitative variable or quantitative data, it's data that can be counted, okay? And they can either be discrete, that's individual pieces of data, or they can be continuous. And we'll get more into that in the next video. But a quantitative discrete variable takes exact number values and is often a result of counting. The number of people in a household. Right? How many people live in a house? 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, whatever. The score out of 30 for a test. Well, the possible variables would be from 0, the integers from 0 to 30 inclusive, including 0 and 30. So that's what quantitative data is. It can be counted, categorical data. It can be put into categories. A continuous variable takes numerical values within a certain continuous range. It is usually a result of measuring. The weight of newborn babies. It could be anywhere between 0.5 and 7 kilograms. That measurement is continuous. At some point, the baby is going to weigh every single weight going up to 7 kilograms. The heights of year 10 students, so could be between 144.5 centimeters and 145.5 centimeters. It is continuous. There is no break in the data like there is when you count. There's gaps between a score of 0 or 1 or 2 or 3, whereas there are no gaps between weight, height, and temperature are actually the most common forms of continuous quantitative data. Now, how do we collect data? Well, if you take a census, you are collecting data about every individual in an entire population, like the city of Orlando. Maybe we want to know what their favorite food is. If we're going to do a census, we're going to have to ask every single person who resides in Orlando, which is virtually impossible. So what we do is we take a sample. And then we project that sample, we study that sample, and make some conclusions based on the sample. Just because it's usually impossible or inconvenient to survey an entire population. So we just take part of the population only, and they represent the whole population. You can, in doing so, you have to be very careful because you could have a biased sample. It's one in which the data has been unfairly influenced by the collection process, and it is not truly representative of the whole population. My first example, I'll try and think of. Let's see if what did we say? We wanted to ask the people of Orlando what their favorite food is. Well, if we went to a barbecue restaurant, that sample could be considered biased, because if they're at a barbecue restaurant, it's likely that their favorite food is barbecue. When you take a sample, you want it to be random, and it has to be random based on whatever it is that you are surveying. Okay, told you it was short. It's just a bunch of vocab. Hope you enjoyed it, and we shall see you next time. And with that, I shall say that I am